Alcor is pleased to welcome you all to today's webinar. Alcor is a global cloud advisory and implementation services company serving Fortune 500, government agencies, and other leading organizations in multiple industry verticals across the Americas, Canada, and India. Alcor is also ServiceNow Gold Services and Gold Sales Partner. We partner with leading company technologies including FireEye, Microsoft, Dell, Incorda, MuleSoft, and Big Panda. We advise leading businesses on cloud platforms, architecture, enterprise service management, and integrating IT service delivery. We also provide business process consulting to capture, re-engineer, and improve processes that can easily be automated to deliver real value. The Alcor consulting team has excellence in business strategy, cloud technology, and organizational change management. Our ongoing webinar series is designed to inform, enlighten, and start discussions within your own organizations. If you require any additional information after listening to today's webinar, please reach out to us through our website, www.alcortech.com. Today's webinar is also on social. You can follow, comment, and get regular updates for today's webinar with the hashtag AlcorWebinar. We have time reserved at the end of the webinar for Q&A. So please feel free to type any questions into the questions section. Today's webinar topic is Unlocking the Power of ServiceNow Password Reset, presented by Chase McRae. Chase is a senior ServiceNow technical consultant and architect with Alcor Solutions. He has more than 11 years of information technology experience. Prior to being a ServiceNow consultant, Chase was .NET developer working in many different areas, including aerospace. Utilizing his development experience, Chase has been able to accomplish elaborate integrations and solutions with ServiceNow. In 2015, Chase was awarded the first place at ServiceNow Knowledge 2015 Hackathon. I will now turn the webinar over to Chase.
Thanks, Anna. So, Password Reset in ServiceNow. So, Password Reset represents about 20% of all ServiceDesk calls. An average ServiceDesk call can cost an IT department about $30. So, we're talking about a lot of requests that are coming in that really is something that should be more automated. Like how come I can go and reset my PayPal password right away, but I got a phone, my help desk, and it takes half an hour, 45 minutes in order to get my work email or my work password reset, right? So the ServiceNow solution is with orchestration. It enables users and customers of the organization to reset their password through self-service and automation, right? So here's a picture of me. I'm locked out of my work, basically, right? So what are the benefits of password reset in ServiceNow? We can reduce the requests that are coming into our help desk. That's going to free up their time a lot to work on a lot of other tickets, something that's more important to the organization. We can ensure a consistent user experience with all of our quote-unquote users that are using this service. We can better govern the password reset processes. We automate it, and it's secure, right? So the features are the self-service and ServiceDesk assisted password reset for ServiceNow, Active Directory, and custom credential stores. We'll kind of talk about what the credential stores are as we get into here. Right, so there's a few different kind of verification methods that are included. So security questions. We see a lot of those with banking when we're logging in, and then there's also the SMS text. I see that a lot with Apple. Sending you the code. CAPTCHA, just so we don't have robots trying to log in, sort of thing. And then you can also create some custom methods as well. I've created one where we integrated with Duo Security, so that would become a verification method. Okta, maybe another popular one there as well. There's a few different ways where we can enroll our users in the ServiceNow Password Reset. There's auto enrollment, if you say everybody's enrolled, or you can actually make people go in and enroll themselves. Right? There's a lot of reporting out of the box that we can take advantage of for usage and see how people are enrolling. We can use identity verification to make sure it's secure, and there's a lot of support for custom identity verification methods. Right? So basically, you can go in, create your own verification methods because it's all extensible, right, based on what you want to do and what the needs of your organization are. So what's in the Password Reset? There's a Credential Store that houses user credentials, so Microsoft Active Directory, local ServiceNow, many others. Verification methods, right? Security questions, SMS. There's also CAPTCHA, right? You can create your own, just like enter in the email kind of thing as well, right? Any way you want to set it up to verify that user's identity. There's the enrollment and the password reset process, which is a combination of all these things. Okay, so the self-service and ServiceDesk. So with the full self-service, we basically provide a link, and that sends them to start this process, right? So this is just the screen grab of what the initial process will look like. So after clicking that link, they'll go into here and they'll start the password reset process. With the ServiceDesk Automated, there's a guide automation that provides a secure governed interaction with the ServiceDesk. So I'll phone up the ServiceDesk, say, hey, I need a password reset. The ServiceDesk employee can go in, click to start the process, select the user that's calling in, select the process to start, and then move on with verifying their identity, and they get that password reset. Okay, so how does the self-service password reset work? Right, so the first step is basically enrollment. Like there's auto enrollment, or we can, get the users to start the enrollment. So with the questions, or if we're using the SMS verification method, then they will need to enroll their phone, sort of thing. Then they request automated password reset. So click that link, start the process. Type the email address in or username. You can configure that to whatever you want, and then we verify it, and then we create a new password, right? And the ServiceDesk password reset is very similar, right? So there's enrollment. The only difference is then they would phone up the ServiceDesk. ServiceDesk is going to run through the process, selecting the user, selecting the process, verifying that person, and then they get a one-time password. Read that to the user on the phone. They will then use that password to log in, and then have to just select a new one right away, right? It's a one-time password. Okay. So the core concepts. So the first is the Credential Store. So these are where local ServiceNow, or the user credentials are stored. You have local ServiceNow. We can add other ones. So this one has AD. We can also create this remote SOAP ServiceNow, just to provide as an example, right? So this is basically where the user's kind of information is stored almost, right? Okay, and then we have the verification methods. So verification interacts with users to verify their identity, right? SMS, personal data security questions are provided. We can also create custom ones as well, right? So kind of basically out of the box, you have the SMS, personal data. So this one is just to enter email. There's also the Google Authenticator verification, email verification. Dual verification is the one that I created as custom. I kind of mentioned before. Then there's just a QA verification, which is a bunch of different questions, right? Okay, and then here's the security questions, right? So you have a list of all of them. There's a whole bunch that are provided out of the box. Admins can go ahead and create their own. Users can't create their own, but you could kind of have a whole bunch of generic ones that they can select from. Okay, the processes. So this is where we kind of combine everything into creating our own sort of password reset process. So each domain may want their own password reset process. So combining the Credential Store with the verification method, right? So here's just a few that I kind of created. So like one, for instance, was the too far. Just go back. Right, so one was just a password reset duo, so that combined Credential Store with the password reset, with the duo verification method. It had its own custom components in that. So, and then that provides a different link. So each one of these is going to be a different link that users could click, right? So you may only want to expose some of them to certain users, sort of thing. Right. So here's what the enrollment screen looks like. So currently there's two. There's SMS verification, the QA verification. So SMS verification, they would go in and have to register their cell phone. So you have to provide the number and then the provider, and then you could verify. You get a code, just verify that device. QA verification, you just select the questions you want and answer them, and it'll save those to your user profile, so those can be verified when you go to reset your password. So here's some of the out-of-the-box reporting that some of the service desk and admins can look at just to see, how is this process being used, right? So we can see the different kind of enrollment verifications, right? So what's people are using more, sort of thing. We can find locked out users and troubleshoot them, so we can see, people are trying to have a lot of problems. We send a password, we can reach out to them, see what's going on. We can see the number of users that we banned from trying to reset the password, right? And we could track usage of each password reset request, right? So self-service, ServiceDesk, what are people using more of, right? Obviously, we like to drive them to use the self-service more, right? Track usage of each password reset process. You can see what are the different processes that are being used. Right. So there's also the ability to resolve locked out users, so we can see who's locked out, and then either unlock them if it's appropriate, or maybe we want them to be locked out. So these generally get, if users are trying to reset the password and they're doing the verification too many times, they'll get locked out. So we can see all the people here, right? There is a number of security features provided with this. So there's things we can set the number of unsuccessful attempts. So I believe out of the box is 3. We can change that to maybe 1 if we want to be really tight on it, or up it to 5 or 6, right? We can change, number of minutes a user needs to wait for resetting, changing password after exceeding the maximum allowed unsuccessful attempts. Number of minutes a user needs to wait to change password after the last successful reset change. Number of minutes before password reset expires, right? And then a number of security questions required during the password reset request. Right, so there's just a few there. Detailed activity logging, so we can see a log of each person that's trying to reset their password, right? So we can, at any given time, go in and see kind of what's going on. There's a whole bunch, why sort of thing. There's a bunch in progress that people are completing it. We may want to look into that. So here's the self-service kind of walkthrough. Right, so they would launch the password reset from the web browser. So here right now we have email address. You can also change it to username as well. Right, so this will actually verify in ServiceNow that this user exists. Right, so it'll do a lookup, check that user. If they're not in there, and we go to click next, it's going to throw an error. Basically, you're not in ServiceNow or that credential store to reset your password. Right, and then here's CAPTCHA as well. That's configurable, so you can choose to have that on there or not. Right. Okay, so the next step after we've been successfully identified is the verification, right? So answer the personal data verification configured during enrollment. So this verify is customizable. We can set this to many different things. Like for this one, I just put the personal data verification. So I would just need to enter my email. So write email, click next. I'm going to be able to reset my password. If this is the wrong email, I'm going to get an error, right? So here we can also change this to SMS or those security questions. One of the challenges we had, with one client was, they wanted to do the SMS, but they were in the UK, and there's an issue with SMS and sending text out there from automated systems. So that's where we kind of talked about doing the duo configuration. So basically, we wrote our own custom verification method that basically connected to the duo web services. So that would go out, look you up in Duo. Okay, yeah, you're there, you're authorized to reset password. Select your kind of verification method, which would be, it's push or it actually will phone you, and then it come back and verify you that way, right? So that was all, kind of leveraged from the ServiceNow functionality, but it was custom and it was built right into this verification slot. Okay. And then next, if everything's successful, we'll reset our password. This can be configured as well, right, to change it to be as stringent as you want. This is kind of basically what you get right out of the box is, at least 8 characters, upper and lowercase, at least one number. As you type the password, it'll kind of give you like the control that tells you the strength of your password, right? And then once you do that, click reset password, and it's done. And then you can then log in with your new password. Okay, so the ServiceDesk system walkthrough, it's similar, right? So somebody phones in, needs a password reset. They can click reset password. This is in the user. They can click it from there. There's other places you could get to that screen, right? This is just one example. So once they're in here, the ServiceDesk user can select the different password reset processes, and they'll select the user that they want to reset the password for, right? So we want Eldon, select the process, okay, verify. So this one is just the email as well. So this tells me, we ask them, hey, what's your email address? They tell us over the phone, and then we either accept or reject that if it's the right one. If they don't know, maybe they're, trying to get in the system, we can just say, no, sorry, that's wrong, and then throw an error sort of thing, right? But if it is the right one, this is a person that should be. Okay, let's move on, right? So here, it's given a one-time password. So single-use password to read back to the user. So we give this person user, and then they can log in with that and reset the password. Right? So ServiceNow provides this to them. Okay. So that's kind of in a nutshell the password reset process. So there is kind of one thing I didn't mention this as well is, in order, if you have your password stored in AD or say like Azure AD in the cloud, then you do need the orchestration packs to go in and actually reset that password. So a lot of them, like, common ones out of the box are ServiceNow does have activity packs like the Azure AD that's in the cloud. We'll kind of create the work for you so that it goes in and will actually reset that password. So yeah, Anna, that's kind of password reset. I don't know if we have any questions that we want to cover.
Definitely. Thank you, Chase. There are a few questions that I'll get to in a moment. As a reminder, please use questions section to ask a question on the topic of the webinar. So Chase, here are a couple of questions. First one is, can other third-party vendors be used for multi-factor authentication?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I kind of mentioned that in, there's the Duo, I use as one example, and then you can use Okta as well. So you just have to kind of create that in the verification. It's extensible, right? So it's just a matter of going in and doing that programming sort of thing. So yes, absolutely.
All right, thank you. Another one I have here. Can password reset on a mobile phone or tablet?
Yeah, you can. So there's the link that we need to provide to them. So it's just a matter of having that link available for the user to click, and then certainly they could reset it from any device that they need to.
All right, thank you. Another question I have here is, can users add their own custom security systems?
Like, I guess in terms of what would be kind of security system would they want to add?
Okay, well, let's see if somebody follows up with their question.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, and the last question I have here so far is, how does the password reset works on a Mac Windows login screen?
Yeah, so ServiceNow does provide basically functionality so that when you go Control-Delete on your Windows and that screen pops up, you can do a reset password from there. So it's basically just something you need to push out to all your Windows machines, and then you can actually leverage that functionality from there. There is a few kind of things to be aware of when you're using that. So as of right now, that does not support custom verifications. So you would have to use the out-of-the-box verifications for that. I don't know if that down the road, that's something that hopefully ServiceNow provides support for. And then as far as the Mac, unfortunately, there is no way for you to kind of reset the password on the lock screen for a Mac.
All right. Well, thank you, Chase. There are also a few questions here about the copy of this PowerPoint. We certainly will be sharing this presentation with you guys. First of all, we will send a link to the recording of today's webinar to everybody's email. And also, if you did send an individual request for PowerPoint, I'll ask Chase to share with you that PowerPoint. And this will conclude our webinar. Thank you, Chase, very much. It was very important and very informative. The recording of today's webinar will be available on our website, www.alcortag.com, as well as on our social networking sites. We will also send you a follow-up email as well, like I mentioned before, and please feel free to follow us on LinkedIn for more updates about Alcor and our following and future webinars. And thank you everybody for joining. We'll see you at our next webinar.